Hey y'all, welcome to Miss Mary the Mac TV. I'm your host Mary, and on this channel we review all kinds of TV shows, everything from reality to scripted television. And today we're gonna get into Real Housewives of Potomac, season 7. Yes, our favorite girls are back. Okay, this when we talk about top tier housewife franchises, Potomac is it right now. The Potomac girls, they understand the assignment. They know what their storylines are. They come, they deliver, they go home, they leave all their beefs for the most part. They leave all their beefs in the previous seasons, and each and every season they deliver more than they did the season before. And that is what makes them top tier housewives. All right. All right, so we are just gonna go in order. We open with Karen and Giselle, the queens of Potomac, the OGs, the aunties. All right, it looks like they've made amends and they appear to have an alliance this season, and we love to see it. I'm here for it. I prefer Karen and Giselle on good terms. I don't like when they argue. To me, it's not really believable. It just seems like they're arguing for the sake of a storyline and it doesn't always come off as authentic. Whereas when they're on good terms, they seem to have more of an authentic friendship. All right, so they are having a picnic in the park with Ashley and Robin, and the cherry blossoms are in bloom, and we get this beautiful shot of the park. They gave us so many different shots of the cherry blossoms and people in the park. And so the ladies are discussing Ashley's divorce and her TikToks and how she seems to be in a good place mentally and she seems to be handling this divorce well. And they also bring up Mia's social media post about her cancer scare. Um, I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard about it, I shared some of the same sentiments that these ladies are sharing. And they bring up that it seems attention seeking, even though Mia herself didn't know at the time whether she had cancer or not. Still, the fact that she was very vague when she posted about it, and it was like on one post she was saying she did have cancer, then the next post she was saying she wasn't sure. Like, it was honestly pretty weird. And I understand being transparent and keeping people engaged, but her inconsistency, let's use that word instead of calling it lies, her inconsistencies in the past kind of leave her non-credible. And that's what Karen and Giselle were saying, like, yo, this girl has lied so much in the past, we kind of don't really know whether to take her seriously or not. And they were saying don't play with fake announcements, especially something as serious as cancer. So in this scene at the picnic, Ashley says out of her mouth that she and Michael are getting divorced. Okay, remember this moment for later in the episode. And Ashley says that they're not sexually compatible anymore, and it's been about 4 months since they last did the do. And that's all I'm gonna say about it, because Ashley and Michael's sex life is not something that any of us should be subjected to. Okay, because ew. She then says that they're buying a house together in their LLC. So the rest of the ladies are like, okay, well, you're not getting a divorce if you're buying more assets together. And then Robin says in her confessional that when she and Juan got divorced, there was no way she was going to buy a house with him. But Robin, you never moved out after y'all divorced. Y'all couldn't even afford to buy a house because Robin lost all of Juan's money. So ain't that the pot calling the kettle? Child, like, how, I don't know if Robin thought that we forgot how she and Juan even got divorced in the first place, but You're the last person that needs to chime in on this because you were still living with your ex husband after the fact. So shut your ass up. So then we move on to Candiace and her husband Chris, and they're at the fertility clinic because they want to freeze Candiace's embryos. And at first I was like, why don't you just get pregnant? Like, just carry the baby. You're still young. You still have time. But then she says it's because of her touring and her career is taking off and it's not a good time to get pregnant. The album is doing well. She's been touring with Faith Evans and opening up for SWV. So I get that. And I'm not even gonna hold you. Her album Deep Space is actually really cute. Like, she got a few bops. The album flows together. It feels like one cohesive project. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, her album was pretty good. And then Candiace tells her husband she would like his schedule to be more consistent because he works at a man as a manager at this hotel. I forget the name of it. And he doesn't get home till like 1 in the morning. And they're having this conversation right in front of their doctor. Number one, this isn't a conversation to have in front of the doctor. And number two, why does the schedule even matter if you're the one off and doing your thing, touring and all the stuff like that? If you don't have time to have a baby right now, then why does Chris need to consistently be at home? That kind of didn't really make sense to me, why it was such a big deal and why they had to have that argument right there at the doctor's office. So in Candace's confessional, the producer asks, what is a good timeline to get pregnant? And she says she changes her mind daily, even weekly sometimes. But in my opinion, Candace doesn't want a baby. And I don't think it's about timing. It just low key kind of doesn't feel like she wants one at all. Right? Because the rap girlies, Cardi B, Young Miami, they have proven that having a child in the beginning of your career won't slow you down. Like, you still just need to hustle, balance your time, and just kind of plan around the baby. But it's not a nail in the coffin for your career. But only the season will reveal, what I mean, where the storyline is going, if it's real, if they actually are doing legit, IVF treatments and everything. It would be really nice to see Candace transition into motherhood and mature as a woman, and it would just give us a different side of her if she does become pregnant, and I would love to see that side. But like I said, only the season will tell where the storyline is going. Robin and Charisse meet up for lunch. And Robin gives us the backstory. And if you've been watching Potomac from season one, you already know that basically Charisse was the nucleus. Charisse brought all of the ladies together and she knew all of them. And then she left the show in season two, at the end of season two or at the end of season three, I don't remember. Um, but Robin basically says that Charisse is really the true grand dame of Potomac. And she's not lying. I agree with that. Charisse talks about her dating life that I don't care about because I don't really care about her that much. And she's only a friend of this season anyway. So then Charisse asks Robin, when is the big day with her and Juan? When are they finally getting remarried? And the shady producers roll past footage of Rob and Juan's timeline. All right, so here we go. 5 years ago, Robin was telling us that she was divorced and doesn't know where she and Juan stand. 4 years ago, they're working it out. 3 years ago at the reunion, Andy asked, are they getting married? And Robin says, within the next year and a half. Okay? So then 2 years ago, Juan reproposes, and that was a really sweet moment. Everybody was so happy for them. I was even happy for them. And then last year, in Robin's confessional, producers asked, here we go again. Like the dude legit says, here we go again. When are y'all getting married? And Robin just flat out says it's not at the top of their to-do list. And in that confessional, she seemed very jaded and over it. So I think it's now settling in her mind that they aren't getting married, but it's like she's still trying to keep up a facade for everyone else as if they can't see through that facade either. Okay? But she tells Sharice in present day that she wants a prenup because she feels that the person who makes less money should not be getting half. She didn't feel that she deserved half of Juan's money when they divorced. But again, half of nothing, is zero. Robin, you're delusional. Like, straight up, you're delusional. Stop playing on our faces right now. Because I feel like she's acting like we don't know her history. And from what we've seen on camera, she is acting real delusional right now. But it's Robin, child. Next, we move on to Mia, and Mia has told us that she moved to Potomac from Baltimore, and they decided to rent in Potomac, basically so that they could stunt for the show, honey. And she's living down the street from Karen now, and she makes it a point to tell us that her rent is 10,000 a month, because she a new money Negro, okay? Her and her husband Gordon. It is a beautiful house. They show pictures of the inside, and it really does look good. And she says that her landlord let her make some tweaks to the home, and so she spent about 65,000 in renovations. Again, I'm tired of Mia telling us how much stuff cost, how much she spent, how much she made. That's gonna come around to bite her in the ass around the middle of the season with what we just found out about Mia's brother-in-laws removing Mia and her husband from the company. All right. The house is laid though. The house is everything. So Mia seems to be having a little family get together. She has over her brother, his family, her mother, and it seems like there's some other family there. And she's talking to her mom about the lumps that have appeared. Her mom looks really good. She looks really healthy. In the past, she struggled with addiction, but she seems to be doing a lot better. And Karen and Ray show up, and Karen and Ray, they're hugging their family. Karen and Mia really seem like they have a genuine friendship, and I love that. Karen asked Mia's family what was something quirky about Mia, and Mia does this weird monkey impression. It scared me a little bit, but the girl sounded like a real ass monkey, and child, is Mia. It was weird. And Karen brings up the cancer post to Mia. And Mia says she was talking to her best friend about it last week. And her best friend said to be honest with your highlight reel and with your journey. And Mia doesn't care how anyone else feels about her post. It's her life, her page, and she feels like she does not have to explain herself. But did y'all catch in the title card whenever Mia was talking about her best friend Jacqueline, that best friend was in quotations? I kind of found that interesting because they did that here, and then they also did it when she showed up to the spring fling party. So I'm wondering if that's like a foreshadowing of some kind of conflict between Mia and Jacqueline, or I don't know. I don't know, but that's just something that I kind of picked up on. Let me know down in the comments if you picked up on that too. So we move on to Dr. Wendy, 4 Degrees Osefo, who is meeting at Bar One with none other than Uncle Ben, Peter Thomas, Penelope Bailey, from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Cynthia's ex-husband. I love seeing Peter on my TV. Peter is messy. Peter is the epitome of a house husband. And Peter looks just like my damn daddy. So I've always had a soft spot for Peter. All right. And so Wendy would like to open a Nigerian lounge. So she's talking to Peter about some business advice because he done had all types of restaurants ever since we've been knowing him. On the early days of Real Housewives of Atlanta, he done had all kinds of successful and failed restaurant businesses. And in her confessional, Wendy looks sun kissed. She looks fresh in her confessional look. I love the olive green. I love her makeup. I'm feeling this look. I'm feeling the little peekaboo, whatever that is, situation going down on there. She tells us that she has her professorship, speaking engagements, home essentials line, and she also has a memoir coming out. And she tells us how busy she is and how she just can't seem to say no to any opportunities that come her way. And Wendy is saying she wants her lounge to be like a library with black authors, and it can be open to children from like 2 to 4, and then the adults the rest of the time. And I agree with Peter. Um, no. Like, what adult wants to be around children when they trying to get toe up? Like, no. Either make it a kid spot or make it an adult lounge. And so Peter says he's going to put up 80% and Wendy will have the remaining 20% ownership. And Peter knows a good location in Maryland. He already has a letter of intent to do business in that area. And it's going to cost 1.5 million total. So to buy in at 20%, that's going to be about 300K out of pocket for Wendy. And he tells Wendy that it's going to be 2 years or even more before they see a return on investment, but they can see upwards to about 8 million a year. Right. So 25% profit of that. Then she'll get 20% of the 25%, which would be about 400,000. So basically, say all of that to say this could be a good money making opportunity for Wendy, but that's a lot to put up front in a restaurant during a pandemic. And then my whole thing is this restaurant better be top tier. You better have the best quality ingredients, because let me know down in the comments if you feel the same way about restaurants. But it seems like ever since the pandemic, the quality of restaurants has completely declined. Restaurants are trash. There's only still a few good restaurants left. I'm located in a 757 where Virginia doesn't have good cuisine to begin with. So it might just be where I'm at where the food is bad. But let me know where you're located and if your restaurants are still any good, because, honey, mine are not. And I'm to the point where I don't even like going to restaurants anymore because I don't like paying money for bad food. If I want good food at this point, I can just make it at home. So we move on over to Ashley, and she's going to her Uncle Lump's house. And she has the boys with her, Dean and Dylan, and they are so cute. They are absolutely adorable. And Sheila looks a lot better now. She seems to be in a really good place. In her confessional, Ashley says if they divorce, she stands to get half of Michael's assets, but she won't say exactly how much money Michael actually has. And the producers ask, well, how much do you need in order to live comfortably? And Ashley doesn't say. To be honest with you, I don't think Ashley knows exactly how much money Michael has, because since he's, what, 30 plus years older than her, he had already attained the majority of his wealth and assets before he even met her. So I'm sure he's hidden a lot of things that she doesn't even know about and probably never will know about. And to the point to where even the lawyers, Ashley's lawyer, won't be able to dig up any extra assets once they're going through this divorce. To be honest, I would too. Like, we all know why Ashley married him and wanted to have those kids. And I'm not mad at her hustle. I'm not knocking her whatsoever. Get your money, get your children, do what you got to do. But at the same time, Michael's not dumb. He can be conniving, and he'll never let her walk away with half. He'll let her think she's getting half, but we all know Michael not letting her leave with half of nothing. So I think this quote unquote divorce storyline, I think is going to stretch out for a few more seasons. If they even get a divorce at all, child. We'll see. So even Uncle Lump is like, so what are y'all doing? Are you divorcing? Are you hiring a lawyer? Like, what's up? Where are you at in this process? And from the answers that she's giving her uncle, it just doesn't seem like she wants to go forward with the divorce at all. Which this scene solidified for me that this divorce is a storyline. Ashley understands the assignment, and like I said, she's gonna drag this out to stay on the show. Get your Potomac bag. Do what you gotta do. If this divorce ever happens, we're all looking forward to single, sexy, and free Ashley. Okay? But it has to happen first. And we can kind of start seeing her mentally and physically transform into a single divorcee. But I don't trust Ashley when it comes to the storyline. I don't. Do you? Let me know down in the comments. So we move on to Giselle and this $900,000 tear down barn. Shout out to Candiace. And the renovations are complete. It looks better than what we saw last season while it was under construction. But I don't know. To me, it still just doesn't look fully right. Like, it still looks like she glued the West Wing onto the rest of the house. And I don't know. I'm still not feeling it. I can respect the fact that she renovated and kept her property instead of like selling to find something else that she really wanted, because I would have did the same thing. It wouldn't look like this, all right, but I would still do the same thing. Like, for the stuff that I want in my future home, I'm just gonna have to renovate, because I don't think that I'll be able to find the house that has the custom things that I would want in it. So I get why she did it. Giselle sits down with the twins, who are now 15 years old, and they're just as beautiful, as classy as they want to be. And she opens up her invite from Karen about the spring party, which is also tacos and tequila theme. And Giselle is pulling out items for the girls to judge her fashions. And when I tell you, them girls was so disgusted. They done had about enough with Giselle and these country ass fashions, okay? Giselle holds up this floral jumpsuit. It didn't look good while she was holding it up, but I did like it on her when she finally got to the event. I don't like the jumpsuit per se, but I like it on Giselle. It's very Giselle, and that's all I'm gonna say on that. That most people wouldn't wear it. But this is part of Giselle's shtick at this point, like her bad fashions. She knows she can't dress because she's a pretty girl. She doesn't try. And that's just part of her brand at this point. We all just accept it and just move on. We get to the spring fling party, and Karen is 58, looking great. And we have a lot of people showing up to this party. We have a lot of people with title cards. I'm not sure if they're official friends of the show, but I guess the producers really wanted us to know these ladies' names, I guess. Jacqueline enters, and again, the title card says Mia's best friend in quotations. So, not really sure what that's about. But Karen says that Jacqueline is a fierce friend to Mia. So Karen and Giselle bond over being empty nesters, and Giselle once again mentions Ashley's quote unquote divorce, and that this is Ashley's way of basically playing the game. She thinks she's trying to get Michael to do things, I guess, like buy different property, or she didn't really clarify what she meant by Ashley's trying to get Michael to do things. So, not really sure what that meant. Miss Ashley shows up in a little skin bearing little two-piece number or whatever. It's giving vacation vibes, but it's also giving swimsuit up top, cover up on the bottom. Like, it looks like something she should be wearing on the beach, right? She looks out of place. And plus the weather's bad, it's raining and stuff outside. Like, yeah, I wouldn't have worn this with the weather looking like that, but it ain't my life. Giselle No, so then Ashley basically gaslights the ladies when they mention her divorce. And she acts like she said that they were separated when they were back at the park. But she really said divorce. So Giselle clocked her like, no one buys a house with someone you're divorcing. Like, girl, at this point, you lying. Because at the picnic, you told us you were getting divorced, but now you downgraded it to a separation. So Giselle is not believing anything that Ashley is selling at this point. Ashley tells us that she woke up this morning with a coochie craving for Michael. Rolling past that because I'm no longer addressing anything sexual between Ashley and Michael because shit is nasty. It's nasty. Michael's old, he's ugly, he's predatory, and he's just a big ill. Candiace and Chris into the party, and Candiace has on her red Ivy Park, and she looks really, really cute. And Candiace also gives us another confessional look, and she looks really pretty in this green top with a little pop of green up under the eye. The hair is laid, the hair is not too much. She doesn't have 10 bundles in her head like she used to a couple seasons ago. The brown hair color is very complimentary to her skin tone. This green confessional looks way better than her other confessional with the locks and the super heavy eye makeup. I do not like that other look. But this look is it. Candace says if Ashley is really getting divorced, that she will throw her the party, honey. She is looking forward to getting to know Ashley without her crusty, booty grabbing husband in the picture. So at this point, we can kind of already tell that Candace and Ashley have made up behind the scenes already. It seems like there's no beef between them two. There was no animosity when Candace came in the scene. Candace seems very mellow this season. Ashley seems a lot more mature this season. And I'm very excited about that. I've always wanted to see the nieces link up and be basically the younger version of Karen and Giselle. So Dr. Wendy and her husband show up to the party. Escala is also there. I'm not sure if Escala is a friend of this season. She didn't really give much last season when she was a friend of, so I wouldn't be surprised if she's just a guest this season. So Wendy sees Giselle. She approaches her. She tries to give her a greeting hug. Giselle is disgusted. Giselle says, no thank you, no hugs. Ew, back up. She ain't say that ill back up part, but basically you could tell from this screenshot that she's not feeling Wendy. She's not trying to hug her. Giselle is still mad of that read down that Wendy gave her last season. But Giselle deserved it. Giselle tried to come for Wendy's family unprovoked. But of course, Giselle spun it in the confessional like, yeah, this girl has been trashing my family for the last year. But Giselle, Wendy wouldn't have anything to say about your family had you not said anything about hers. She tried to insinuate that Wendy's husband was either cheating or had an outside baby or something like that. Completely unprovoked. Completely unprovoked. But it's Giselle. You know, Giselle's going to make herself a victim and do what she got to do. And Wendy took this well. Wendy was just like, oh, okay, well, take care. And I love that. Let Giselle play the victim on her own. Let her be bothered if she wants. Wendy told no lies when she read her down, though. She told zero lies. And if Giselle is still mad about that, then oh well. But clearly, Wendy is not the target of Giselle this year. It appears that Giselle's target is Ashley and her fake divorce this year. So Mia shows up to the spring fling, and instantly Giselle is like, so this is what cancer looks like? Cancer? No cancer? What's going on? And Karen was like, I told her if she wanted to answer these questions, she can. And Mia says, well, I'm very transparent. And Giselle was like, it just seemed like you were very attention seeking. And I didn't realize you were the type of person that needed attention. And Karen was like, I would not choose to use social media to announce something like that. I didn't agree with her method of communication, and we're just looking for some clarification. And then Mia says, I don't need attention. I was using my platform for a purpose. I was hurting. I got a call that I had cancer, lymphoma. So for you to say I was doing it for attention, F you, Giselle. F you. And then we fade to black, and we don't even get a next time clip. It just fades to black and it says to be continued. So I guess in the next episode, there's gonna continue that showdown between, if you want to call it a showdown, honey. I guess they're gonna continue that between Mia and Giselle. I mean, I don't, I don't feel that that's something that needs to be dragged on for a storyline. But Giselle's doing what Giselle does. She shows none of her real life. She grabs onto other people's drama as a storyline, and she's like a dog with a bone when it comes to other people's business. And this is just not a storyline that I'm interested in. Like I said before, I think that Mia was weird for how she announced it, but it was what it was. But for Giselle to make it a storyline is a little thirsty. It's a little thirsty in my opinion. But yeah, I'm interested to see what all goes down for the rest of the season. This really is a stellar ensemble cast of housewives. They all know the assignment. They all show up to work. So yeah, I'll see y'all next week. Well, if not next week, I will be recapping the Beverly Hills reunion, which starts this Wednesday. I believe it's like a 3 or 4 part reunion. And I'm also trying to get into Salt Lake, y'all, but I'm not gonna hold you. This season of Salt Lake is not giving. I don't even know if I'll bother. We'll see how episode 3 goes before I decide if I want to recap the whole season of Salt Lake. But yeah, I'll see y'all next week. Bye.